Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news, baby dolls. If you are wondering where I am, well, let me tell you something. When you are a male stripper, you have to move to different locations depending on where your clients need you. And now we are looking at a Biddy Coin price of around 95,000 American dollars. Let's go have a squeeze at that. The monthly structure is nicely holding. Isn't it wonderful where this green monthly candle has actually reversed the entire red of Mark this month out here. So this is beautiful to see. I've got a lot of stuff coming your way, friends. You know, when you're looking at the crypto cycle, I'm feeling very bullish, particularly because Chris, if you're listening, I mean, we know like 15 Chris's. Chris messaged me about 20 minutes ago saying, man, I think the whole cycle is going to be over in June, July. And I'm like, oh, yes, because it hit me, friends. It hit me like every single person, every mainstream KOL, all of us, we're all scared that it's all going to finish in June, July, around that period of time. Blockchain Backer, Uncle Bobby, Ivan, Crypto Banter, literally, you name it. I mean, Crypto, the Twink brothers, literally every single person thinks the cycle's finished in the month of July. I think it's going to be a believer's cycle. I think a lot of them are going to be dumping, friends, along the way. And I don't think they're going to get there at 150K BTC. I hope they do, but I don't think they will. I think it's going to stop at that 130K mark, and then they're going to get scammed on the way down. Scammed as in like they're going to jeet their bags on the way down. Let's go have a look at what I'm talking about here. This is the Biddy Coin price. We're doing a nice retracement up here. We're back around the 61.8. Maybe Biddy Coin is going to screw around to here, do some little ABC something, and then we're going to pump up through. But this is the fib extension. It's around 130K, you know. When we get above here, I do wonder if we are going to actually stop and then basically make them think the cycle's over to come back down. I do wonder and think about that, because that would be really in tune with it being a believer's cycle, where if you believe in like just the magical 4-year cycle, that number, okay, you're going to basically get out because you go, oh, it's been 4 years, okay. But for the rest of us, we know that the 4-year cycle is Fugazi. It's not actually the 4-year cycle. It's the global liquidity cycle. And what do we mean by global liquidity? Well, the US government and every other government in the world, some say the world, they have to roll over their debt. And they haven't rolled over their debt yet, you know, because it's all one big giant fat Ponzi. Let's have a look at the weekly price chart as well for Biddy Coin. The structure is looking really, really, really nice. We are cranking on through. The Bitcoin dominance, friends, is still like painfully high. But this is also what happens, friends. Like, look, most people, friends, when they're thinking about, oh, Biddy Coin, you're going to send Ethereum home, how? I don't think so, dude. Friends, I've been in markets my whole life, okay? I know what happens. When you send anything up only, I know the reversal is like the most turbo-nuclear, watch-out disaster thing that you could ever stand in front. You just don't know when it is. It flipped red here. You remember this, friends? It flipped red, and then we literally never went down. We literally reversed back up. We flipped red on the weekly super chart. That's why we thought Altseason was pretty much starting up here. And then what happened? We had another 4 red monthly candles for Ethereum and everything up here. So I'm not fazed by that at all. A lot of people are. Oh, I can tell you one thing though. Do you know this disastrous period? So let me show you here. This disastrous period. So you think it's disastrous for altcoins. That's what we feel, yeah? It feels like it's a disastrous thing for altcoins, but actually no, it's not. This is disastrous for Biddy Coin. Why? Because this 4-5 month period, this 4 months in particular, this has attracted a gargantuan, large amount of weak hands. Weak hands, weak institutions, weak funds, weak countries. That's right, I said it, countries. But you can't see it right now. Nobody can see it right now. That's how the market works. Right? It doesn't give you a free lunch. You don't look at these people and go, oh, you're weak. I say that because I know what's going to happen when these things turn around. When this ship turns around and there's no levels on the way down and this thing just has to crank all the way back down. Friends, you got to understand the level of memes that we are going to be doing against Michael Saylor, against countries that are Bitcoin only. You're going to completely underestimating this. Like the amount of memes we're already going to like just put like a zoom up on his face, and it's just going to be saying your face when you realized that you bought the wrong store of value. Like all these little things, and that's just a start. It's going to chip away over and over and over again, and you're going to see Ethereum rotate. Now here's the thing. Sure, they're always going to go back to, for example, the ETH BTC ratio all-time high. They will always think, they will try to talk about that in terms of COPE, But the thing is, friends, it doesn't actually work like that because they all have months and months and months to get into Ethereum when ETH BTC is this low. They know they do, right? So you don't because you're already in. You're turbo long from before, but these people do. They do have the option right now, and none of them are going to take it. That's just how markets work because they love buying green candles. That's what it comes down to. They all love buying green candles, and if we have like this vicious snapback, you're going to see them pretty much come and capitulate. Now, are they just going to start selling Biddy Coin to buy BTC? I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Everybody's pretty much called Ethereum dead. I don't think it's dead, man. I think everyone's just full of crap, friends. We already know it's a business cycle, man. A lot of things are running on Fugazi fumes. And yes, we need that business cycle to pretty much stop being racist for once. This is the Ethereum monthly candle. It got saved, that monthly super trend, right? It's almost green. We've got to finish like 1830. Remind you as well, the next CME gap is around 2600. So maybe that's why we head to, but these numbers are shocking as well. You know what I mean? Like, why is Ethereum under 4K? I guess we'll find out later, whatever it is. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the S&P 500, get some macro stuff out here. The S&P 500 is super strong. This is beautiful. By the way, we're going to go through some like Donald Trump comments and stuff out here, but these are, friends, these are literally all secondary. So whenever you come and check markets, just don't even bother looking at news. Just look at the price chart, man. You already know this. The price chart reflects everything. Are they good? Are they bad? Is the news good, but the price action's going down? Or that means that the prices really want to go down, right? And then the opposite. Is the news bad? Like, I'm going to show you some bad news. Like, Donald Trump says, don't expect tariff pauses for a long time. He pretty much said that, and the market's up anyway. See what I mean? So it starts pricing all this stuff in. This is the S&P 500. If you want full clarity from Donald Trump and China, you're probably going to just have to wait until the prices go back up here. And that's pretty much repeating every single thing in markets that you know, which is pretty much if you wait for all the certainty to come, you're going to be paying higher prices. Although you're always scared about another stock market crackdown at some point, you just don't know when it's going to happen. So we'll see. You never know, friends. Like, we might actually get, if we look at it, we might actually run into the July, right? And then crypto literally shoots up, and by the second half of the year, there's some sort of scare that happens. Maybe that happens. You never know. But this period, maybe crypto, I think what will happen is crypto would hold up really well on this, and then they have to do some money printing bonanza thing, and then it continues again. That might be it. So you might actually find, friends, when this happens, people sell crypto because stocks are crashing, and then we probably find out like they do some money printing and stuff happens, but no one gets back into crypto until the prices are up. You mark my words, that's pretty much how it happens, friends. Because like a lot of people, they have this fan fiction where I lived every single day, friends. Nobody was confident to go all in on risk assets during the zombie virus. Nobody. Now, here's the thing. I said to go all in. I was already all in. But you didn't like walk around going like, oh, cool, they just print money and it's fine. Absolutely not. Every single person in the world was saying, you have no impact on the supply chain issues when you print money. Zero. All you're doing is printing currency. You can't make China ship more. You can't make the boats sail faster. You can't make the planes move faster. You can't do any of that. You can't make pointier elbows out of thin air. You can't do that with money printing, okay? And that's pretty much, that flooded everybody up. But what ends up happening is crypto went up so much, it got everybody in. So we never know, we might see something like that. And that's going to be quite the journey if we get that, actually. A lot of people are asking me, do I think the cycle is extended? Look, the way I'm seeing it, friends, what I'll do is, look, this doesn't have to work, okay? I'm just guessing. But when you have 5 red monthly candles, dude, like, friends, 5 red monthly candles, I know this sounds stupid. This is the beginning, bro. Like, we have not started yet. 5 red, that's bear market stuff. That means the bull's not here. It's like think about it, like, if 5 green is the end, then what's 5 red gonna be? It should be the beginning, right? Just look at it. If 5 green monthly candles in a row is literally the end, this is what we have alt season up here, and also you have DeFi season up here, all right? You also had it in 2017. This is here. But I mean, if you get 5 red in a row, it's literally the beginning. By the way, has that happened before? Yes. Look at this. This is 4 red in a row. That was the beginning. You had 5 red in a row. That was also the beginning. You see this? Now, you might also look at these ones that happen from the tops, but you can't count them because that's literally right after 5 green. You know what I mean? So you're basically you're retracing a big part of these pumps. We never got that at all. And a lot of people are saying we're never going to get that. Okay, man. Well, you can sell. You can stay in your Bitcoin Maxi portfolio. You can go suck a fat banana. I'm going to stick to my guns here. I'm not getting out. And by the way, friends, I'm feeling more convicted the more people disagree. Okay, so yeah, remember me? I was calling for a dark prophecy, which is left translated. Well, this was like years ago before anything played out. I'm talking about dark prophecy. I'm talking about everybody who's going to FOMO buy after Trump is going to get cucked. We're all going to get cucked together. And look, it happened actually. But now we're looking at the global debt, right? The markets try to price in stuff, but they never printed the money, which is what we know they have to do for the debt rollover. So yeah, it is going to be quite the tale to speak about when this is all pretty much starting to play out, because it's a very, very confusing time for everyone as we move in. So the way I see it as well, look, if you're going to there's no free lunch in markets. Someone's going to have to get screwed over somewhere. What we'll do is we'll play some angel music for those people. Someone's going to get screwed over. Who's going to get screwed over? Well, you could say, well, holders will get screwed over. Yeah, but that's in the past, man. It's been 4 years. Okay, so if you told me holders are going to get screwed over 3 years ago, you're right. Okay, that was 3 years ago, man. It's literally like it's pretty much 4 years into it. Okay, so who's going to get screwed over? Look, most people get screwed over. When you have Crypto and Ivan and Crypto Banter and the Twink brothers and Uncle Bobby Lucas and literally every single Tom, Dick, and Harry and Jerry, right, and every single person calling, they're basically friends. They're outlining to the market they're selling in July. They're going to sell. If we get 3 green months, May, June, July, they're out. I know they're out. And they're not going to sell that 130K because they're waiting for 150. So they might sell when it dips back down to 110 or dips down below 90. Wouldn't that be, by the way, wouldn't that be the most perfect scenario? Let me just show you the Biddy Coin price. Wouldn't it be the most perfect trap, friends, if Biddy Coin goes up to that 130 Fibonacci and then they're waiting for 150, but then it dips back below 100, right? And it hits like 89 or something, and they think it's all over, right? And everyone's going to be looking at the linear chart. See? They're going to be looking at this linear chart. They're like, oh, crap, it's topped out. It's doing like the head and shoulders thing, right? That would be like the perfect trap. And then it will literally be a believer's cycle right into that moment, wouldn't it be? And then you have like, you know, people like me, retardios, I'm like, you know what, man, I don't think it's over. When you have that many strong hands in altcoins, it has to die on euphoria. It can't die on, well, it can die at any point, but it doesn't make sense to me to just have 3 green months in a row and call that, oh, well, sweet, that's pretty much it. No, friends. Like, people want something to believe in, okay? Memes, cults, religions. It's a believe in something cycle, yes? Believe in something. Your maximum opportunity is when no one believes and everyone's out, which is pretty much right now, okay? Your minimum opportunity is when you literally con the rest of the market, all the weak players to getting in. And you'll know what that looks like, okay? So we've got more signals that might appear in the future out here. Having a look at the PulseChain prices as well, friends. PulseChain up here, just a couple of percentages move as Ethereum is moving around. You have the People's Bitcoin, the pWBTC, up a whopping 38%. You have PDAI up 2%, and these things move around 4% for PLS. So it is wonderful. So the pWBTC to pDAI ratio is still at a nice premium, okay, which is actually wonderful. Remember, these things, they don't die instantly. What I'll do now, I'll show you a very family-friendly way. I'll try to show you here on this chart on the right-hand side. This is pWBTC. So what you can actually do is I'll just show you the ratio right here, the pWBTC to pDAI ratio. So this is a daily. So it's pretty much, it's hanging around here. So it's pretty much giving you a nice premium. I do think one day it's coming back all the way to 40,000. Now, how's it going to come back to 40,000? Well, the people's Bitcoin could just dump like 75%. That's one way. You could just dump some. But another way I think might happen is later on. Not now, maybe 3 to 5 months from now, pDAI is having a turbo nuclear run up. That's my guess. And pWBTC can't catch up. Okay, that's it. That's later on. But look, it's nice that these spreads, they give you like another second and third chance for pretty much you to take advantage of that. So how would you be taking advantage of it? So let's say I had one pWBTC. Okay, let's say I still had one. I'd take out like a third out. And I'd use that to buy pDAI. I'd rotate, I'd swap a third of my pWBTC into pDAI. Why? Because this thing's expensive, okay, relative to pDAI. That means, here's the thing, friends. I looked at like 15 to 20 spreads. Every single thing says pDAI is turbo nuclear cheap. It shouldn't be down here. Every single thing. And not by just like 10%. Like, we're talking like 3x, which is literally, it is, I'm not joking, it's once in a year opportunity as well out here. On the right-hand side of the top right, this is pDAI as well. Looking at pDAI to pulse ratio. Let's have a look at it. As you can see it, it's hanging around this value of 25, which is very, very, very low. I mean, like, it should be like still 100, but the reason why it's that low, we know why the reason why is. It's one person, Catty, given access dumped the crap out of pDAI and moved it to the Atropa pool. Okay, so if you believe that that's a natural move, then you're going to hold everything yourself and do nothing, okay? And most people believe it's a natural move. They think, okay, yeah, most people believe pDAI is worth 0, and they're like, a lot of people are turbo nuclear long Atropa, for example. When I saw that and I saw these ratios, I don't think it's natural. I've seen, because friends, you can do what you want. I've seen this stuff before, man. Like, I've seen some enormous, strong, powerful, rich hands try to influence a market, and they try to fight it, and then eventually they can't win. And what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to show you the Atropa to pDAI ratio. This is pretty much it. This was catty. So this thing going super strong was catty dumping the shit out of pDAI and moving into the pool. And now it's at 36 now. I mean, if you could take advantage of 100, but you never know, man. It might just do what it did here, where it comes back down, has this nice like scream up somewhere, and then it just goes back to fair value. This is where the market thought fair value would be on this spread. So, but here's the thing though, you never know, man. Like, by the way, like, I'm just like, here's the thing. Okay, what I'm going to tell you is there could be more releases of Maria, Atropa Dev, more labyrinth puzzle pieces moving where Atropa looks like the MakerDAO of pDAI, if you know what I mean, where it's doing some buy and burn. It could happen, but you haven't even seen anything released yet. But it could happen. And even if that happened, I personally think it would still be, so it would get a flush of people in to be like, oh, cool, this is it. It might even get and probably like come back up here, and it will just come back down anyway. I've seen it thousands of times. So then it would pretty much be buy the rumor, sell the news all over again. So it's interesting. Even in ratios, you see this happen. Now, the good thing is, friends, you don't need to know any of these. The best, like the most advantaged stuff of all of this is the USD prices are so cheap. Like, you're a cult within a cult. You're on PulseChain, or everything on PulseChain is cheap. PLS is cheap. PulseX is cheap. EHEX, PHEX, Inc. Friends, it doesn't even matter. Like, I'm looking at everything. I'm like, the good thing is, like, during this time, it's so abundant. The cheap prices are everywhere. You get like FOMO looking at everything. Some people say Ink's going to go to $500. EHEX is going to go to $1. PX is going to go to $400,000. You get all this FOMO in your heart, and then you realize, oh wait, we're all liquidity linked anyway, which is good. It's all of that. But this is what you want. Actually, what you want. Like, you don't want to be thinking, oh, sweet, everything's going to be sweet. Like, everything's really, really cool. Like, we're all great and euphoric. You don't want that, okay? You want to be having this, like, fear in your heart that, oh, crap, if these things start reversing, they're all going to go up a lot, even though everyone's depressed, which is exactly where we are now. It's just showing you that we have not had euphoria yet in the market. Now, what I'm going to do, friends, I'm going to show you some very family-friendly news updates. So, funny enough, friends, Ethereum was $1,799, and I rounded it down because it's been a piece of trash. Here, you don't deserve to get rounded up. China says it's not having any tariff talks with the US. US should stop creating confusion. So it's kind of funny, man. It's the same thing. Just walking back the comments back and forth. He said, she said, once it's finally settled, S&P 500 is just going to be fully recovered. You get to see, friends, when there's maximum uncertainty, it is what it is. You get the maximum opportunity. Now, isn't it funny? I told you, man. I told you during the midst of that, man. Don't let them forget this, man. Don't let them forget how turbo nuclear bearish they were on Biddy Coin right at the bottom here. Don't let them forget that, friends. I told you, man. Friends, even we love Uncle Bobby, okay? We love Uncle Bobby. We love Souvlaki. We love his gyros. I just gently, in a very family-friendly way, tweaked my nipples, and I said, look, Uncle Bobby, I feel like because you hate Donald Trump, it's bleeding a bit into your bias. Because you're saying, oh, this administration and there's real risks. I don't think so, bro. Friends, I don't think, like, look, if you actually know, these world leaders, friends, like, do you know that, the country's economy is bigger than the president. You know that, right? You know they're way, way, way bigger. You know, an economy has like, 1 million people making transactions, like literally every day, buying and selling. It's effective pricing of everything. You know that. So when there's one dude who comes in as a president and he says, you know what? We don't want maple syrup from China anymore. Like, bro, you can only go so far because people are like, you know what, man? Maple syrup's $9.50. I don't want to pay $27 for maple syrup. You know what I mean? So like what they end up doing is, even if you try to put on a tax, they just, and this is literally what happened with oil, right? Russia and oil. They just go get India to buy it off that country for a cheaper deal. And then they just pretty much put a 10% premium and you just create a black market for this stuff anyway. Now you do this with like literally hundreds of thousands of goods and services and items all around the world. And then you realize, oh crap, president can't actually do much, friends. They literally can't actually do much. It's like it's all this posturing and stuff out here. But what it can do though, if you have money on the sidelines, give you an opportunity to get in. Man, the VIX, fans, the VIX, what did it do? Like hit like 50, 60. That's ridiculous, man. That's a huge VIX. And I told you, like once you have a man-made problem put in, they're always the best S&P 500 opportunities to buy on the chart. Because you go, oh wait, do you really think they're going to let one dude just like take everything to zero? Most of the time it's not, you know. And we saw the same thing with crypto as well. US President Trump says he would sign a bill banning Congress from trading stocks. Now, if you remember, friends, that's one of my exotic top signals. That is extremely esoteric knowledge. That's exactly what happened at the top in 2022. So, waiting for them to ban stocks. I can't believe it, friends. I've been following this since 2022, man. Literally, when they first uttered the words. They said, no, now that the US Fed banned themselves from stocks, let's go to Congress. They started in 2022. I still remember it. Let me bring up the chart here for you, actually. Oh man, it's been quite the journey. I did not think it would like come all the way up here to this time, but like, I mean, like actually kind of did actually. When I think about it, like it started down here, friends. It started all the way down here. They're like, let's ban Congress from stocks. And like, they're just letting it go the whole way. It's the same thing, right, with the stock market. So the theory is, if you're curious, if you knew, so why is it if US Congress bans stocks, why is it like that's a bearish signal? So it could be one of my exotic top signals, right? And it's because when you get all these corrupt politicians financially incentivized, when you get them to agree that it's a good idea to sell something, it's probably when they've hit the point where they've exhausted all their up-only money printing, stimulus, biases, insider information, if you know what I mean. They've probably exhausted most of it. In another way, they probably know the next wave of like a few years is not, say, stocks focused. It might be US dollar dominance focused, okay, which is that's a different game. Okay, it's a totally different game. So, like for example, what if America, they start losing their US dollar dominance, they got to start some wars. They got to do stuff out here, right? You might say, oh, but they're going to print and put money. Yeah, but okay, they're eventually going to print, but that's still creating uncertainty for these stocks out here. So the politicians, they don't stand in front of the train and go, oh, we're just going to print money, it's going to be fine. Not all of them do that. They sell first. They take profit first. Okay, so that's exactly what the US Fed did because they're all corrupt scum. I'll just show you here. This is the S&P 500 chart. Remember, friends, the US Fed literally were allowed to own stocks this whole way. Okay, literally bottom of GFC, they're allowed to own stocks the whole way. And finally, right here, when did they ban themselves from stocks? Here you go, October 2021, like literally right here. And then they sent the rates from 0% up to 5.5%. Okay, a giant amount. That was the US Fed. Okay, so that's why we think, or just you never know, man. We never know. We might literally get the ultimate top signal if US Congress eventually pass themselves, right? You never know, friends. It might be even next year. Who knows? Maybe the end of this year. I don't know. Whenever it comes, just watch out. That's it. Watch out for stocks. Watch out for everything else. And there are other exotic top signals, friends. Like Coinbase, it's like rank on the App Store 300 now. When it hits number 1, that's something to think about. Man, remember it got close. It got close to like number 18 when Trump won, and we're like, oh no, maybe the signal's broken, but then actually it stopped there, which is funny. Bringing it back to more family-friendly news, China exempts some US imports from 125% tariffs, Reuters report. So you're seeing more walk-back stuff. You're seeing some commentary. Everyone's like, oh, we're macro experts. Like I said, friends, first we were Russia-Ukraine experts. Then we're Israel-Palestine. Now we're China-USA. It's just a matter. What are you going to do? We're going to go in circles? No, we'll get something else, man. Like I'm just telling you now, there's going to be like some windmill's going to go explode somewhere, and jellyfish are going to rise from the sea, disrupt some ecosystem, and then we've got like food inflation for something, you know, for pancakes or whatever. And then we're all going to become like biodiversity biological ocean studying experts. This just happens over and over again. I don't know why. It's just like a story appears and just people will literally, they'll do anything but get long. That's it. Just like every single time. They just do every single thing. They'll debate people. They'll go on Twitter Spaces. They'll spend 15 hours a day just yelling at randoms on Twitter, going to YouTube, debating people. Just as anonymous people, even on the street, man. Even on the street, friends, in public forums, in their own close circle of friends, whatever. People literally, they'll just talk and talk and talk and talk. Man, you're literally a slave, man. You're literally like, man, if I was a dictator, it means I'm licking my lips. I'm just been licking my lips. I'm like, man, it's the game is just so obvious. You got the TV, you got the media, you're all slaves. Your emotions are controlled. We ostracize people who just don't want to listen to the government. All right, we ostracize people like that. You just believe everything they say. The narratives can be changed. Like it's perfect. You literally, if you're a dictator, just imagine yourself as a dictator of the world. Would you not be licking your lips right now? You could literally do anything you want. And population just sheep. They do that every single time. Now, obviously, you got to be careful with that. You can't just be like a full-on maverick with every single thing of your life. You don't have enough time to do that. The good thing is, in markets, man, when you're a maverick, friends, you're front-running all these dirty fiat currency that's just getting printed and thrown around out here. That's a big advantage, man. You win the rat race. That's the big advantage. Senator Cynthia Lama says she will continue to hold the Fed accountable until the digital asset industry gets more than a life jacket. That is political speak for US Fed. We want you to print money and buy our Bitcoin backs. That might also be the very, very top signal. Okay. But I don't think they're going to do it. They're just going to utter the words. Okay. Because then you have literally, like, the wet dream was the US government buying Bitcoin. Okay. But more than a wet dream, the childhood dream. Okay. The dream of all dreams, friends, Bitcoin was made as a separate currency. If you can get the world reserve currency money printer, the US Federal Reserve, to print US dollars and actually buy your currency, you will literally get heads to explode. It's literally game over at that point. The game is over. Literally the movie's over. All right. So that might be the turbonuclear trap of all traps. Just remember Tim Apple at the top of November 2021, Bitcoin, literally the top on the day. They put him on Bloomberg. They wanted Apple to buy Bitcoin. And all he said is, he goes, you know what? Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're actually good for diversification. That's it. That was the top. It was literally on the day. So you never know. Maybe we get the US Fed. Maybe they finally get Chair Powman, right? Chair Powman to say, you know what? We'll consider putting Bitcoin on the balance sheet. We'll just say that word, just consider it, right? That might be literally the final rate dream. But they don't just do that out of nowhere, friends, okay? They don't do these things out of nowhere. What you'll find is, of course, because you're watching me, a very family-friendly show, when will we say these words? If there's like a big, fat, green, thick green candle. That's when he'll say those words. He doesn't say those words now. It's when there's literally every single person in the world. He opens up the newspaper, okay? If he walks down the hallway and everyone's just talking about this Biddy Coin, that's when they do that. When there's just so much pressure. Okay, that's what we were looking for. And that might be literally it. It will be just a dream for him to actually do it. And then because you'll be really, really happy, right? You're like, oh my gosh. Because friends, do you think everyone's going to be turbo long, man? No one's going to be saying, uh-oh, it's actually over, guys. No one's going to be saying that. They're going to be saying, guys, we're going to win. They're going to use the US Fed to buy up all the Biddy Coin. That's what it'll come down to, right? Check this out as well. Michael Saylor, friends, says you can still buy BTC for less than 0.1 million. So that's just cope words. Out here, you know what we all think, friends. Bitcoin dominance, friends. I'm telling you right now, friends. You could talk a big game, but when the candle goes against you, totally different story, man. You've seen it. You've lived it, by the way. You've lived it. A lot of you thank me every single day because I show up every single day and I just palm off all this FUD, okay? That's what a lot of you, the most common thing I get in my messages, where they're like, dude, I just don't know how you do it. Like a new FUD comes in and you just literally just palm it off, backhand it, right? Kick it over here. I don't care. I literally don't care. It's all fugazi, okay? Because friends, every single story you live through is the same thing. It comes in, it grips you, you think it's over. Same thing. Paulie Boo Atkins, SEC chairman, says the crypto sector deserves some clear regulations. So obviously you're seeing this concurrent news and stuff out here, everything pushing through. President Trump says another tariff pause is unlikely. It's funny, the market closed green after he said that as well. Now, man, this is what comes next. What comes next? Well, I'm just to show you some blockchain backer stuff out here. This is basically Biddy Coin on the left and on the right. Okay, Biddy Coin, it's showing you this similar structure where it's coming down and it has this reversal part, and then you have like this thingy period where you do this ABC period up here, right? You just don't know how deep this is going to get before it continues up. And I just want to show you, if you look at the whole thing, it's pretty much all over on the right hand side. Look at that, just literally, he's got it as like it's literally all over. So it's Bitcoin like 125k, and like it looks like it's all over. You know what? I'm prepared for that. I don't think it's going to be all over though. I just don't think it's going to be all over. Maybe it's all over for Bitcoin. I know you say, oh, what about the altcoins? Altcoins always go down when Bitcoin gets crushed. Just be careful with stuff like that, okay? Because literally every single person in crypto is 100% on the same side as altcoins must get wrecked if Bitcoin gets wrecked. Every single person, okay? And yes, it has happened every single time. It has. One of these days it won't though. I don't know when it'll be, but one of these days. I want to show you another chart as well, just giving you an idea of what might come next as well. This is showing you some nice fractal of what it might look like of the reversal as you can continue up. Okay, this is total crypto. We're like up to this period here. So we're hoping altcoins come and do this reversal. So how would actually altcoins do this on the right-hand side and follow those squiggly lines? Ethereum. It has to be baby doll Ethereum. If Ethereum needs to be the one that pushes itself up, maybe gets to that CME gap 2600 or 3K, and then we can continue from there. This is pWBTC, friends. You know, SUI, pWBTC. Now, pWBTC is one of the strongest coins. Okay, it's actually very, very, very strong. It's actually leading all the altcoins. So he has this like Fibonacci extension for pWBTC to get up here. You're probably thinking, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, but friends, from today, it's a 4x. So because it's up so much, your ultimate euphoria point is a 4x from here. And it could be following the SIA coin pattern from before. So if you're holding that, I guess you just hold it and just see what happens. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we go and get those playouts. This is once again another Bitcoin price chart where we are right now, around in that circle, just continuing up and getting that reversal. That's the next part we're looking for as well. This is XRP, friends, XRP as well. I think blockchain back. If you're curious, you got friends and family, I don't know, start taking profit at $8. It is what it is. So let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, Biddy Button, or catch you in the next one.